Hi, welcome to a session on fund flow statement. Before getting into the nuances of the preparation of fund flow statement, let us now understand about this lesson video. This lesson video has 5 parts. The first part of the video will introduce you to the fundamental aspects of fund flow statement, its contextual relevance, definition, the reasons for the occurrence of cash flow, all these aspects. The second part of the video will help you to understand about the components of current assets and current liability. The third part of the video will expose you to the method involved in the preparation of schedule of changes in working capital. It is primarily to find out whether there was any increase in the working capital requirement or decrease in working capital in a given point in time. And the next part of the video will help you to understand about the computation of funds from operations. And the last part of the video will help you to understand the preparation of fund flow statement. Now let us move on to the first part of the video. While managing business, firms enter into numerous transactions of financial nature depending on the level of business activity and the nature of business. In case of a manufacturing firm, normally they start with the procurement of materials or purchasing of materials, converting them into finished goods. For this purpose, they are to have their own factory premises, equipment, and for all these purposes they should arrange for funding. They should identify the sources of finance for procurement of materials as well as the acquisition of equipments. And they should also spend money for the conversion process towards labor, handling charges, all these aspects. So normally there are 2 statements. One is income statement, the other one is balance sheet, which will normally give you an idea about the performance and the financial health of a firm. In case of income statement, transactions are consolidated to obtain comprehensive idea about the nature of transactions and its results. Income statement will give you an idea about the firm's profitability, profit earning capacity at different levels, at the production level, at the operations level, and overall level. So it has limited scope and restricted to inflows and outflows from supply of goods and services. It will be very much focusing on the income and the expenses. Whereas in case of balance sheet, it is a static statement. It is a snapshot of financial position of a firm, presenting the assets and liabilities and capital position of a firm on a particular day at the end of the accounting period. So this will speak about the financial health of a firm, the wounds and the woes of a firm at a given point in time. But management of a firm is concerned with the flow of funds resulting from business decisions and the transactions to regulate the flows in purposeful and profitable manner, and to analyze and interpret the changes in the financial position, to control future business operations and planning. So for this purpose they need a statement apart from the income statement and the balance sheet. So let us now look at the definition of the term funds. It is being defined differently by different authors. It is defined as total resources of a concern, which refers to cash and near cash items. Total assets employed in an enterprise is the way by which it was defined by an author. And it also refers to cash and cash equivalents or working capital. Flow of funds. Current asset may get converted into fixed asset when you spend money towards acquisition of a plant or an equipment or an investment, long-term investment. So the cash may get converted into assets, or assets may be sold in a given point in time and it may be converted into cash. So the flow may move from either from the short-term assets to the long-term assets, or from long-term to the short-term. Similarly, in case of current liability, the short-term current liability may be funded by a long-term source. And over a period of time, firms may be in a position to make returns out of it, and the long-term liability may be retired, may be returned. So flow happens because of these reasons. And to manage all these aspects, the inflow and outflow of funds occur because of these reasons. More specifically, when a firm issues equity shares, being share capital of a firm, to raise capital, funds will flow into the business. And the preference shares, which has preference on payment of dividend and the repayment of the amounts taken through the preference shares, are to be redeemed. So for the sake of redemption also, cash can flow out, funds may flow out of the business. And when a firm issues preference shares, funds may flow into the business, and when it redeems, funds may flow out of the business. Similarly, firms may issue debentures. Debenture is a financial instrument used to float money from public in the form of borrowings. Okay, so once the money is borrowed, at the time when the borrowings are returned or retired, funds will move out of the organization. When a firm issues debentures, funds will flow into the organization, and it is retired, it will flow out of the organization. Similarly, when a firm borrows money, it has to honor the obligation of payment of interest as well as payment of dividend to the shareholders. In all such cases, funds will flow out of the firm. Similarly, a firm may borrow money from banks and financial institutions. In such case, funds may flow into the business and also towards repayment of loans. And in case of sale of assets, funds may flow into the business, and on account of purchase of assets, funds may move out of the business. Fund flow statement is also known as sources and application or uses of funds. Otherwise, it is also called statement of changes in financial position, statement of sources and uses of funds, summary of financial operations, or popularly it is called where got and where gone statement. Where got refers to the sources from where we managed to get, the management of a firm managed to mobilize funds, and where gone the purposes for which it was applied. Characteristics of fund flow statement. It shows the sources during a specified period. It may be borrowed funds, it may be equity funds, or it may be a fund raised by way of equity shares, or it may be funds floated through bank loans, short loans, overdraft, so forth. From which source the firm has managed to mobilize funds is being shown in the fund flow statement. It shows the uses of that funds during a specified period, how that the funds were used, whether it was used to procure materials or to install new machinery or equipment. So all these information we can get to know by looking into the fund flow statement. But a question may arise in your mind now: can't this be can't this be observed by looking at the income statement or balance sheet? So fund flow statement will focus more on these aspects, whereas in case of income statement it will indicate you about the profit earning capacity, the profitability of a firm, how much the sales was magnified, how many number of times for which the sales was increased to meet the costs was the focus area in case of income statement. Whereas how that the capital position is being distributed in the form of assets is being shown in the balance sheet. So there arises a need for us to have a separate statement which shows exclusively the long-term sources and the short-term sources from where the firm has mobilized funds and the various purposes for which it was applied. So funds used here means working capital, that is the excess of current assets over current liabilities. Fund flow statement, also called as sources and application of funds, which intimates the movement of funds, helps us to understand the changes in assets and liabilities and equity capital, prepared on working capital basis. And fund here means working capital is nothing but the difference between current assets and current liability. Current assets. Before getting into the components of current assets, we need to know about current assets. Current assets, also called as short-term assets, which are convertible to cash within the operating cycle, normally 1 year. They are short-term assets. They are not, they are circulating assets. Say, for example, cash is getting converted into cash within an operating cycle of 1 year. So cash is a current asset. Similarly, stock is also, our purpose of stock is not to retain it for longer period. How quickly you convert it into finished goods and realize cash, that matters. So such assets are called current assets. Let us now look at the components of current assets. Current assets include inventories. So the more the amount of inventories indicates the firm has made more investment on stock. Debtors, they are credit customers to whom customers to whom goods are sold on credit are called debtors. Bills receivable, again customers to whom goods are sold against bills are called accounts receivable. Both are customers, both are debtors, but here this category of debtors to whom goods are normally sold against bills. Prepaid or unexpired expenses, that is expenses paid in advance. Some part of insurance premium would have been paid in advance. It's a short-term asset. Accrued interest, that is interest earned but not received. And cash and cash equivalents. Similarly, current liabilities, they are short-term liability. Supposing a firm goes for a short loan or bank OD. So it must convert it back. It must be returned. It must be returned within the operating cycle, normally 1 year. So the components of current liabilities include short loans, sundry creditors, that means the people from whom we get goods on credit, or we can call them as suppliers. Suppliers who supply goods to us on credit. Bills payable, suppliers who supply to us against bills, that means we have accepted bills. And outstanding expenses, due but not paid. And incomes received in advance. And at last, it is tax and the dividends payable. So these are the components of current assets and current liabilities. Now let us get into the preparation of schedule of changes in working capital. So the basic rule for understanding whether there is increase or decrease in working capital requirement, we have to look at the current assets and the current liabilities, what we discussed earlier. So the basic principle that we have to keep in mind is that decrease in current asset and increase in current liability means the working capital requirements has decreased. Or otherwise, decrease in current asset and increase in current liability normally decreases the working capital requirements. And conversely, increase in current asset and decrease in current liability increases the working capital requirements. Now let us consider a question to understand about the preparation of a schedule of changes in working capital. And the objective of this schedule or preparation of this schedule is to find out whether the requirement of working capital has increased comparing to the base period or it has decreased, because decrease in working capital is normally a source to a firm and increase in working capital is application to a firm. So that is the objective why we do this calculation, why we prepare the schedule of changes in working capital. So for better understanding, we have taken up a question, balance sheets of 2 years, 2018 and 19 of a firm, to prepare schedule of changes in working capital. In balance sheet, on the liability side, you have share capital, debentures, bills payable, outstanding expenses, and trade creditors. So it is a combination of both the long-term liability as well as short-term liability. And if you look at the asset side, you have fixed assets, investments which are non-trading, that means long-term investments, and trading, which are marketable securities, short-term in its nature. Trading investments or marketable securities. Normally non-trading investments will be part of fixed assets and long-term investments. Not part of fixed assets, it will be part of the category called investments, long-term in its nature. Trading investments or marketable securities which are normally converted into cash within 1 year. So trading investments can be taken as part of current asset. Then inventories, nothing but stock. Trade debtors, nothing but credit customers, accrued interest, unexpired insurance, and the cash and the bank balances for 2 periods, that is 2018 and 19, is provided in the question or in the balance sheet of a firm. Now let us prepare the schedule. Schedule of changes in working capital for 2018 and 2019. So first let us consider current assets. Investments, as I mentioned earlier, trading investments ought to be considered. So The balance is given as per the question or in the balance sheet. It's rupees 8,000 at the beginning, that is on 2018, and 9,000 at the end. So increase in current asset means increase in working capital. It should be shown on the increase column. Next, inventories. Your opening balance was given as 12,000 and closing balance 18,000. Again, there is increase to be shown on the increase column. Trade debtors, 40,000 becomes 48,000. Again, increase in. That means you are going in for more credit. So your investment on current assets has increased by rupees 8,000. And accrued interest, that means interest earned but due to be received, is also increasing from 4,000 to 6,000 compared between 18 and 19. So again, there is increase by 2,000. Unexpired insurance has increased in 2019. It was not there in 2018. It was given only in 2019. So it should be taken as part of increase. Cash at bank. So 17,000 at the beginning and 2,000 at the end. So there is decrease in cash balance. So it should be shown on the decrease column. Cash at hand. Again, 8,000 becomes 1,000. That means there is decrease. It should be shown on the decrease column. So I think we have given effect to all the current assets. So for this calculation, we should consider only current assets. So working capital is nothing but the difference between current assets and current liability. So there is no scope for fixed assets here. So now I am just finding out the total. So total of current assets in 2018 is 89,000. Whereas in 2019 it is 87,000. So now I move on to consider current liabilities. Bills payable. Decrease in bills payable means increase in working capital. Outstanding expenses, 6,000 has become 9,000. So increase in outstanding expenses means a decrease in working capital requirements. Trade creditors, 33,000 becomes 40,000. Again, increase means decrease in working capital by rupees 7,000. That's all. We have given effect to all the current liabilities. Now I am finding out the total of current liabilities. 57,000 and 55,000. And working capital is the difference between total of current assets minus total of current liability. So which is 32,000 arrived by taking into account the total of current assets, which is 89,000 minus 57,000 of current liability for the year 2018, which is 32,000. And for the year 2019, the total of current assets was 87,000 minus 55,000 current liability. The difference is 32,000 is the working capital for the year 2019. So there is no difference, it seems. Both the year it shows 32,000. So this schedule has two parts. In the first part, on the year basis, we calculate what is happening to the working capital between the base year and the current year. Whereas in the second column, in the second part of the schedule, the changes are taken into account, the increase or decrease are taken into account. And based on that, the difference is computed. Here, there is no difference between the working capital requirements between 2018 and 2019. There is neither increase nor decrease in working capital for the year 2018 and 19. Let us consider one more question. Now, we will consider one more example to understand the compilation of schedule of changes in working capital. For this purpose, the information relating to the year 18-19, that is 1st April 2018 and 31st March 2019 is given, which means the opening balance is for the year 17-18. So opening balance on 1st April 2018 means it is the closing balance for the financial year 17-18. 31st March 2018 will become opening balance for the financial year 18 and 19. So 1 year data, this is your opening balance 1st April 2018 and 31st March 2019 is the closing balances of various information. It is not given in the form of balance sheet. It is just given in the form of information. So 8% debentures. As we discussed earlier, debentures are instruments normally used to, financial instrument used to float money from public. It is in the nature of borrowings, long-term borrowings. Outstanding rent, expenses outstanding, liability, and cash and bank balances, accounts payable, machinery, fixed asset, accounts receivable, prepaid commission, that is paid in advance, and stock balances, otherwise called inventories, and share premium, equity share capital, like information are provided in the question. So first we must keep in mind that we are asked to prepare schedule of changes in working capital. Working capital is nothing but the difference between current asset and current liability. So all long-term aspects, no matter liability or asset, will be out of scope for this calculation. What are all long-term here? Debenture is long-term. It is not a current liability. So it should not be considered. Similarly, machinery being fixed asset has no scope here for this preparation of schedule of changes in working capital. Similarly, share premium, equity share capital, all these are long-term units. In fact, equity share capital is permanent capital and share premium is the premium amount, the balance of the premium account, share premium account, which has no relevance to this schedule. So first of all, you must try to identify what are all, in a question it will be given all aspects, all current assets and non-current assets, current liability and non-current liability will be given. So you should exclude the non-current items. Here debentures are non-current liability, machinery is a non-current asset, share premium and share capital are non-current liability. So these items are to be excluded for this compilation or preparation of schedule of changes in working capital. Now we move on to the answer. So schedule of changes in working capital between 18 and 19. There are two parts of this calculation, one on year basis, the other one is on changes basis. Current assets. Cash in hand 4,000 and 8,000. Increase means increase in working capital. Cash at bank. Increase means increase in working capital. Accounts receivable 30,000 becomes 34,000. Again 4,000 increase in working capital. So this is based on the fundamental principle which we discussed earlier. So whenever there is increase in current asset, that means you have more working capital. Prepaid commission. Commission paid in advance, given only in the commencement of the year and it is nil at the end, means it is decrease. So it should be taken as part of decrease in working capital. Inventories 22,000 becomes 27,000. So we have invested more on inventories by 5,000. So that's all. We have given effect to all the current assets. Now let us find out the total. So 2018 72,000 and 2019 84,000. That means your investment on current assets has increased. Current liabilities, outstanding rent, 8,000 becomes 12,000. So increase means decrease in working capital by 4,000. Accounts payable 20,000 becomes 26,000. Again, increase means decrease in working capital. Total 28,000, 38,000. Now let us find out the difference between A and B. That is the total of current assets and total of current liability. 72,000 minus 28,000, 44,000. Here it is 84,000 minus 38,000, 46,000. Now first we have to start with the side that has greater balance. So 46,000 to be compared with 44,000. So there is an increase in your working capital requirements by rupees 2,000. Similarly, on the second part of the calculation, comparing between increase and the decrease, first you have to calculate the total of increase column. The total of the increase side should be calculated. So which is 16,000. And the total of decrease side is much less than the increase side. So if you look at the total of decrease side, it is only 14,000. It is 2,000 short. The decrease side is 2,000 less compared to increase side. So first we have to close the increase column and transfer the amount to the decrease column to find out the difference. So this 2,000 which is highlighted over there is the difference between the total of decrease column and the total of increase column. So that means the increase, the amount of increase is greater. So the result should be increase in working capital. In both ways, the answer should tally. Both compiled based on year basis and compiled based on changes basis, the answer should tally. Now let us move on to computation of funds from operations. Funds from operation is the only internal source of funds. Okay, all other sources are external. Funds raised by issue of equity shares, by debentures, by preference shares, by long-term borrowings, all these are external source of funds. Funds from operation is the only source which is generated internally. And it is calculated based on adjustment of non-fund and non-operating expenses and income. An adjusted P&L account is prepared here to find out the funds from operation. It may be either prepared in the form of an account or in the form of a statement. So selection of method, whether to go in for account format or based on the statement format, depends on the availability of information. Now let us look at the format of adjusted profit and loss account. So actually, the objective of preparing adjusted profit and loss account is to find out funds from operations. In the regular profit and loss account, we would have arrived at the net profit after taking into account or after debiting all the non-fund expenses, non-operating expenses. Maybe the example of non-fund expenses, depreciation and provisions. It is a paper transaction, transfers to reserves. It's a paper transaction. Funds will not move out of the firm. Similarly, sale of a fixed asset, or you would have incurred loss on sale of fixed asset. So it is a non-operating loss. So these items would have been considered to calculate the net profit. So to know the true position of the funds generated out of operations, adjusted profit and loss account is prepared. Now let us look into the format of it. So first we have to start with the opening and closing balances. The opening balance will appear on the credit side and the closing balance will appear on the debit side. So this will be given in balance sheet of a firm, either in the form of P&L account balance or in the form of reserves and surplus. And on the debit side, all the non-fund and non-operating expenses which are already debited are to be reversed. So instead of reversing it, we are just showing it on the debit side of the adjusted profit and loss. So, to depreciation on fixed assets, to loss on sale of fixed assets. Similarly, loss on sale of investments, goodwill written off, discount on issue of debentures, provisions for tax, proposed dividend. These are some of the items that are already debited into the P&L account to arrive at the net profit. But these are non-operating and non-fund in its nature. Okay, so when we remove some of the items in the debit side of the profit and loss account, the profit position will increase. So on the difference, we are trying to add these items, the non-fund and the non-operating items, but it is shown in the form of a ledger. So you have to debit all the non-operating and non-fund expenses. And on the credit side, you should consider the non-operating income, if any, maybe in the form of profit on sale of fixed assets or profit on sale of investments or income from investments, income tax refund. And by closing the ledger, if your debit exceeds the credit, you will have funds from operations. Which means what? When the total of debit side, the total of the debit side is, say for example 1 lakh, whereas the total of credit side is 80,000, let us assume. In that case, the difference should be called as funds from operations. Conversely, if your credit side is rupees 1 lakh and the total of debit side is rupees 80,000, which means funds lost from operations, fund outflow of operations, rupees 20,000. In that case, the difference will appear on the debit side of adjusted profit. So the same may be prepared in the form of a statement. When it is prepared in the form of a statement, first we will start with closing balance of the profit and loss account. Add back all these items which are already debited and subtract all the non-operating income to find out and reduce the opening balance. You should start with closing balance, add all these items, less non-operating income and opening balance. You will arrive at funds from operations or funds lost from operations. Now let us consider a question for better understanding of the preparation of funds from operations. The question is like this: from the following details, ascertain funds from operations. Details with regard to the year 18 and 19 are provided. P&L account balance of 2018-19 given, rupees 50,000 and 60,000. General reserve, preliminary expenses, goodwill. All these are non-operating and non-fund in its nature. Preliminary expenses written off, depreciation provision, income from non-trading investments, and additional information. Preference share of the face value of rupees 1 lakh were redeemed during the year at 10% premium, and the premium on redemption was charged to the profit and loss account. Now let us prepare the adjusted profit and loss account to ascertain fund from operation. So we should start with opening and closing balances. Rupees 50,000 was given as opening and 60,000 as closing balance. Transfer to general reserve, goodwill written off, preliminary expenses, provision for depreciation, and premium on redemption of preference share, which is a loss to the firm. Okay. But it is not operating. This non-operating. So our objective is to find out funds generated from operations. These are not something pertaining to operations. So that is the reason why we are adding back all these items. But it has been debited to the profit and loss account. It has been already debited to the profit and loss account. But these are not something pertaining to the operating aspects. So we are adding it back. You must try to understand that. If these items have not been taken into consideration to arrive at the opening and the closing balances, we have to ignore these items. This need not be added back. And on the credit side, income from non-trading investments. Again, it is not an operating income, so it should be credited. And by closing the ledger, you have 1,05,000 total on the debit side, which exceeds by 35,000 on the credit side, which is indicated as funds from operations. So if the same is prepared in the statement format, first we have to start with the profit and loss account balance. The difference between, we have to consider the difference between the profits. Or you may start with the total amount. You may have to start with the closing balance and you have to reduce the opening balance. Instead, what you can do, you can just take the difference between this 50,000 and 60,000. The difference is 10,000 is taken over there. The difference is 10,000 is taken here. Otherwise, you may have to start with 60,000, do all the add back of all these non-operating, and while subtracting, you have to subtract the opening balance of 50,000. So it means the same. You may start with 60,000 and subtract separately 50,000, amounts to taking 10,000 directly. It means the same. You can follow any one of these two methods. But what you must keep in mind is that if you are starting with 60,000 here, you have to reduce 50,000, the opening balance here. Or you may take the difference between 50,000 and, the 60,000, the closing balance and the opening balance of 50,000. The difference can be directly taken over here. And we have added all the items which do not increase fund from operation, which has nothing to do with fund from operation, but debited to P&L account. Like preference on, premium on redemption of preference shares, transfer to reserves, preliminary expenses written off, depreciation. In fact, if you look at the adjusted profit, all the debit side items are added over here. And all the credit side items are to be reduced here. Here items which do not increase fund from operation. So by debiting all these things, your fund from operation will not get reduced. By crediting income from non-trading investment, your fund from operation will not increase. That is the reason why we are adjusting the profit. But these items have been already taken into account in the income statement and the profit is arrived as rupees 50,000 and given in question. And profit is arrived as rupees 50,000 and rupees 60,000 and given in question. So the answer should remain the same, no matter the method. So you can select either account format or statement format. Now let us move on to the last part of the lesson video, which involves the preparation of fund flow statement. There are 4 steps involved in the preparation of fund flow statement. First step is to prepare schedule of changes in working capital to ascertain increase or decrease in working capital, considering changes in current assets and current liabilities. Step 2. Preparation of necessary ledgers based on additional information. Supposing it is given in question, some part of machinery was sold during the year, or additional purchases made, or dividend paid, or tax paid. When any such additional information is provided, based on such information, we have to prepare necessary ledgers to ascertain cash inflow or outflow on account of payments, purchases, or sale. Step 3 involves preparation of adjusted profit and loss account to find out funds from operations. Here we adjust all the non-operating and non-fund expenses and income to ascertain fund from operation. And fourth and the last part is preparation of fund flow statement. So fund flow statement is prepared after considering changes in working capital, funds from operation, and inflow and outflow of funds. Now let us look at the format of fund flow statement. Now it is prepared at account format. As like balance sheet, fund flow statement also has two sides, sources side and application side. So increase in equity share capital, preference share capital, debentures, public deposits are to be treated as sources of funds. When there is increase in the equity share capital, comparing between the opening and the closing balance. Similarly, preference shares, debentures, public deposits. In all these cases, the amount by which it is increased, the balance has increased, to be taken as sources of funds. Supposing equity share capital appearing at the opening year as rupees 2 lakhs and at the end as 2 lakhs 50,000, that 50,000 should be shown as part of sources side, mentioning issue of equity shares. In the similar method, we have to observe from the balance sheet given in the question. When there is increase in the amounts, it should be taken as issue of shares. So a firm may go for issue of shares initially and subsequently also for raising additional capital also the company may issue shares. So depending upon the number given in the question, we have to decide. Similarly, in case of preference shares, which are normally redeemable in its nature, when the number decreases, it should be taken as application. When the amount increases, it should be taken as part of sources. And when long-term loans may be given as the loan from bank, term loans, when the amount of term loan increases from the base year to the current year, the difference should be taken as part of sources. In case of fixed assets and investments, the sale made during the year, the sale of fixed assets and investments made during the year, normally it could have been given in the question deliberately, but in some cases it may be a hidden information. So we have to prepare necessary ledger to find out the amount of additional sale made towards fixed asset sale of fixed asset made or sale of investment made additionally. So the deliberated sale can also be there. In addition to that, there can be some other additional sale of fixed assets or investments. So that can be identified by preparing the concerned ledger. So when it comes to sale of fixed assets and investments, the amount of sale may be given in the question. In addition to that, there can be sale of fixed assets and investments additionally. So all such a sale will appear as part of sources side of the fund flow statement. Then fund from operation is a calculated value. So by preparing adjusted profit and loss account, we discussed. So based on the adjusted profit and loss account, the fund from operation should be taken here as part of sources. And from schedule of changes in working capital, when there is decrease in working capital, that will be part of the sources side of the fund flow statement. So it is a comprehensive and complete list of the probable items that would appear on the sources side of the fund flow statement. Now let us look at the items that would appear on the application side of the fund flow statement. Whenever there is decrease in the value of assets, or when the question itself has committed that the firm has purchased fixed assets, such purchases will appear on the application side because funds flow out of the organization because of purchase of fixed assets. So it may be deliberated in the question, or it may you might have observed it by comparing the numbers, or it may be an additional purchase. So all such purchases, maybe purchase of fixed assets or long-term investments, all such purchases will appear on the application side of the fund flow statement. Then, as I told you already, preference shares are redeemable in its nature. So they have preference in payment of dividend as well as in final settlement. And it is redeemable in its nature. So by comparing the numbers of preference share capital, the amount, the values of preference share capital in the balance sheet, you can decide if it is increasing, it should be taken as an issue of preference shares. If the number is decreasing, it should be taken as redemption of preference shares. Similar treatment for debentures also. Debenture is a financial instrument used to float money from public. It is in the form of borrowing. Okay, when the values of debentures increasing comparing with the base year and the current year, the amount by which it increases should be taken as additional borrowings. It should be part of sources. If the numbers are decreasing, if the values are decreasing, the amount by which it decreases must be treated as redemption of debentures. And the same treatment with regard to the loans also. The numbers are, when the values are increasing, it should be taken as sources. When the values are decreasing, it should be treated as a repayment of long-term loans. Then payment of dividend. This may be given in the question directly, or you may find this by preparing the concerned ledger. Proposed dividend account may be prepared. From there, you may find out the amount of cash paid towards dividend. Similar is the treatment for payment of tax. Sometimes it may be directly given. In certain questions, the provision may be given in the question. So by preparing the provision for tax account and considering the current year provision, we have to calculate the amount of tax paid for the current year, and that amount should be shown as part of application side. And outflow of funds from operations. So while calculating the fund from operations, when the debit side is in excess of credit side, you will get funds from operations. If it is on the otherwise, it can be funds lost from operations or outflow of funds from operations. So this being format, both the items are given, but in reality, in a question, while you are solving a question, you will have either funds from operation or funds lost from operation. Similarly, from schedule of changes in working capital, if you observe that there is increase in working capital, it should be shown on the application side of the fund flow statement. So the decrease in working capital will appear in sources side, and increase in working capital will appear on the application side. Now we'll look at the format which is in statement or vertical format. The same items but it is shown in the vertical format or statement format. First, we have to start with all the sources and find out the total of sources. And from this, we have to subtract all the applications. The payments are to be subtracted. Payment towards purchase of assets, investments, redemption, repayment, tax, dividend, all these payments are to be subtracted. So A minus B, that is the total of sources minus application, will give you increase or decrease in working capital. In this case, schedule of changes in working capital is not required. The changes in working capital is arrived as a balancing figure. So it is arrived by comparing the total of sources and the total of applications. Now let us consider a question. Balu and Co. presents the following financial statements for 2018 and 2019. We are asked to prepare sources and application of funds, nothing but fund flow statement. For this purpose, the balance sheets of 2018 and 2019 given in the question. So if you look at it, you have bills payable, creditors, loan from bank, reserves and surplus, share capital on the liability side. So it is a combination of both long-term liability as well as, so here bills payable, creditors or current liability. Loan from bank, reserves and surplus. Loan from bank is long-term liability, and reserves and surplus and share capital or owner's equity, shareholders' money. And on the asset side, you have cash, investment, debtors. It is given in the order of liquidity. First current assets and current liabilities, then the long-term and the owner's equity appears here. So on the asset side, you have cash, investment, debtors, stock. All these are current assets, and fixed assets are separately given. And there is an additional information that depreciation of rupees 3,78,000 was written off for the year 2019 on fixed assets. So we have to start with first step. If we follow account system, first we have to, so it can be prepared either in the account format or in the statement format. If we proceed to calculate by account format, first we have to prepare the schedule of changes in working capital. We have to consider current assets. Cash, opening it was 1,06,000, closing 62,000. So there is decrease by 44,000, should be shown on the decrease column. Debtors, 6,92,000 and 10,56,000. So it is increased by 3,64,000, should be shown on the increase column. Stock, 8,64,000 at the beginning and 13,66,000 at the end, again increased by 5,02,000. Investments are presumed as long-term in its nature here. So when it is given as marketable securities or trading securities or trading investment, then it can be taken as part of current asset. Otherwise, it should be treated as long-term. Now we can calculate the total of current assets. As we have taken into account all the current assets, we find out the total of current assets. Now we move on to current liabilities. Bills payable, 4,52,000 and 6,28,000. So increase in current liability means decrease in working capital by rupees 1,76,000. Creditors, 8,26,000 and 12,54,000. So increase in current liability means decrease in working capital. That's all. All the items of current assets and current liabilities have been taken into account. Total of current liability. Now, working capital is the difference between total of current assets and current liability, which is rupees 3,84,000 and 6,02,000. So upon looking at the numbers as compared to 18 and 19, there is increase in working capital requirements in 19 by rupees 2,18,000. Similarly, in the second part of the calculation, the total of increase is 8,66,000. When you balance it with a decrease, you get 2,18,000. So the result is there is increase in working capital. This is step 1. Move on to now step 2, preparing necessary ledger accounts to find additional purchase or sale of fixed asset. So fixed asset account. So asset being debit side item of the trial balance and asset side item of balance sheet. Opening balance will appear always on the debit side. To balance brought down, that is the opening balance. By balance carried on closing balance. And depreciation as given in the question provided during the year was given in the question as rupees 3,78,000. So in P&L account it should be debited. The journal entry is profit and loss account debit to fixed assets account. That means in fixed account ledger it should be shown on the credit side, 3,78,000. So on closing the ledger, we find that there is a balance appearing on the debit side, which should be taken as additional purchase, to be taken as cash paid or funds paid or bank payment was made for purchase of fixed asset to the tune of 9,48,000. This is step 2. Step 3, adjusted profit and loss account. The objective of adjusted profit and loss account is to find out fund from operation. So for this purpose, it is prepared in account format. So P&L account being liability item of the balance sheet, opening balance will be on the credit side, 13,84,000 on the credit side. Closing balance on the debit side, 17,28,000. And the depreciation should appear on the debit side because it is a non-operating expense. It should be added. And if you close the ledger, you get funds from operations, which is 7,22,000. So we have calculated changes in working capital, made necessary adjustment in the ledger to find out the additional purchase and calculated funds from operation. Now we move on to step 4, preparation of fund flow statement in account format. So fund flow statement of Balu & Co. for the year 2019. So sources and application side. In sources, loan from bank to be taken as there is increase in loan from bank to be taken as sources. And investments, it was there at the beginning, 1,74,000, and it was nil at the end. So it should be taken as sale. So sale of investments, rupees 1,74,000. And from funds from operations, what we calculated earlier, as per step 3, to be taken as part of sources. On the asset side, the additional fixed assets purchased, as we calculated, should be taken as part of applications, 9,48,000. An increase in working capital, as per schedule of changes in working capital, is 2,18,000. So the fund flow statement should tally normally. Both the sides of the fund flow statement should be equal. This 11,66,000. But the message is that the firm was able to mobilize funds from these sources, from operations 7,22,000, and by sale of investment 1,74,000, and by taking additional loan for 2,76,000, the firm was able to manage its purchases of fixed assets, and the increase in the working capital was funded using these sources. That's the message conveyed through this statement. The same statement can be prepared in the statement format or vertical format. In such case, first we have to write all the, we should consider all the sources of funds, loan taken from bank, sale of investments, funds from operations as per step 3, and you will get the total of sources. From this, less application of funds on account of purchase of fixed assets, and if you balance it with the total of sources, you will get increase in working capital. So you can follow any one of these two methods to prepare the fund flow statement. I hope this lesson video was very much exhaustive and helpful in understanding all aspects of fund flow statement, its fundamentals, preparation of necessary statements like schedule of changes in working capital, computation of funds from operations, and finally the fund flow statement. Thank you.